Hello there, fair citizens of Metropolis, and welcome to the Tristan and Steve Weekly Report.
Today we've got a special edition of the show. We're calling it Tristan and Steve Do Movies.
We're actually going to be previewing a couple new releases that are coming soon to a theater or pirated digital copy near you.
Now, if you aren't aware, I've already been writing movie reviews for over a year now. The twist is that they're written from the perspective of the common moviegoer and posted on my blog.
Yes, he is indeed that stereotypical hipster kid with a blog.
Shut up, Steve. I started because my friends and I,
Myself included.
were starting to get fed up with the film critics giving bad ratings to movies that were actually really awesome. I noticed that they all write their reviews like snobby film students who inhale with pleasure artistic, independent films. So I'm fighting back at that by writing like a real human being who just likes hitting the theaters.
He's really injecting the voice of the people into the entertainment media. Go America.
You're ruining it.
I love you too. Now let's see what Steve scurried up for us in today's headline. Steve? Sorry, I was in traffic or something. Anyway, we have a special birthday message, but I obviously don't need to tell you who it is. I mean, this is every teenager's best friend, and I'm talking about, yep, that trusty sidekick who follows you everywhere, always listens to your crazy party stories, and gets you caught up on all the most important news. Just hit a huge milestone. So we'd like to extend our love to Twitter, who just turned 7 yesterday. Wow, just a little kid and Twitter is already worth $10 billion. What have you done with your life? I'm Stephen Ali, and now here's your Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There is a meeting tonight at 6:30 in the library for Italian and French students who are interested in traveling to Italy and France in 2014. Get to Mrs. Perla in B9 or Mrs. Kelcher in B10 before the end of the day to get more information.
Head to Trappers 1 or 2, both, on March 28th from noon to 8 p.m. to support the senior class.
The induction ceremony for all new members of the Junior Honor Society is tonight at 7 p.m. Please arrive no later than 6:45 in the library. See Mr. Schuyweller or Mrs. Shug with any questions.
All Science Olympiad members have a brief meeting today after school in D9. Bring all binders and event materials to be stored until next year.
Alright, since that junk's over, we'll jump right into our first preview.
Well, as a disclaimer before we get into it, there are 4 different stages of the year, as far as movies are concerned. Like, films released in January and February are usually awful. From May to July, you see a lot of big-budget, Michael Bay-style, eyebrow-burning blockbusters. And November until the end of the year, strong writing and direction in film becomes the trend as the Academy starts gearing up for award season.
And if I'm not mistaken, right now we're kind of in that middle ground between those 3 distinct categories of the year where films are really hit or miss. It's probably a safe bet to lower your expectations for these movies and simply hope for the best.
That being said, The Croods is shaping up to be an almost halfway okay film. It's an animated film by DreamWorks that follows the story of the first family road trip in recorded history. And even though Nick Cage is voice acting in this one, so is Emma Stone, so she balances out his horribleness. The movie is rated PG and definitely family friendly, so if you're looking for something cute this weekend and don't have time to hunt for stray puppies, this one might be for you.
Well, today's the second day of spring, and I bet you're all wondering when the warm weather is going to grace us with its presence. As you can see, we have a fairly clear map for today. Up towards the north of Syracuse, we do see a massive precipitation. As for our NetAtmo map, we got word this morning of a lake effect snow advisory in effect here until 7:05 a.m. until about 12 noon tomorrow. For a look into the rest of the week, expect temperatures climbing from the low 30s to the high 30s. Enjoy your day.
Now, Tristan, I am a little boy at heart, but I do my fair share of stepping on cracks on the sidewalk and running marathons with scissors. Do the theaters hold any merriment for those like me who want to live on the edge?
Yes, in fact, we have two options for the older crowd. On one hand, Admission is a PG-13 romantic comedy starring Tina Fey and Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is the principal of an alternative school and former college classmate of Tina Fey, a Princeton admissions officer who has to decide whether or not to compromise her strict moral code when she finds out that a child who applied for her college may be the son she gave up for adoption.
Well, I guess that's cool and all. I mean, I like watching two awkward, middle-aged Caucasian people stumble through a relationship as much as the next guy. But I was hoping for something, darker. Like James Earl Jones laughing softly to himself in the corner of a poorly lit room as he broods over a copy of The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. You know, that kind of dark.
That's a creepily specific hypothetical. And while I can't give you Mufasa, I can show you a pretty sick action flick called Olympus Has Fallen. This movie is rated R, so we're only marketing this to those 17 and older. But seriously, Olympus. In Olympus, the White House comes under attack and is taken over by terrorists. With the president held hostage, the Speaker of the House, Morgan Freeman, is left to call the shots. Gerard Butler plays a former special ops soldier and current Secret Service agent who takes it into his own hands to neutralize the threat. So think Call of Duty meets Home Alone here.
The Syracuse Orange, there's a lot of questions surrounding them. And as they look to go into the NCAA tournament, with the chancellor already stepping down, Jim Boeheim has had reports that he will retire after this season. We don't know that, but Mike Hopkins also has interviewed for the job at USC, so questions surrounding Darryl Gross. Meanwhile, the Orange will be looking to advance to the round of 32. They will play Montana tonight, a 13 seed. The tip-off is at 10 p.m. Trailing by 27 in the third quarter, the Miami Heat came all the way back from a three-point win. LeBron James led the Heat with a triple-double, extending their streak to 24. I'm Cody Barbito, and this has been your WESM 15 Sports Report.
That's all we've got for you today. Make sure you hit up the theaters this weekend to check out The Croods, Admission, and maybe Olympus Has Fallen.
Check out my blog at tbmoviereviews.blogspot.com over the weekend for my take on Admission. Other than that, thanks for checking out the weekly report. We won't see you next week, but we know you'll be thinking of us while you're away.
That's twisted.
So's your face.
Have an okay day. Be safe.
Mostly.